Back in 2009, Chevrolet would sell you a Corvette for $50,000, which was fast for the money. Or for over $105,000, they would sell you a ZR1 Corvette, which was not just fast for the money, but it was one of the fastest cars you could buy, regularly featured on top 10 lists alongside cars that were 2 to 3 times the price of the ZR1. The ZR1 featured exotic construction with a transparent hood and carbon fiber panels. And this particular car is a loaded 3ZR example from 2010 with just 1,200 original miles, and it's now for sale. It's heading up for auction on Bring a Trailer, where it will be selling with no reserve as offered from Casio Motors.
Under the carbon fiber hood is the hand-assembled LS9, a supercharged 6.2-liter V8 rated for 638 horsepower and 604 pound-feet of torque. The LS9 utilizes a 6th-generation Eaton supercharger, making big power while making torque at lower RPMs and across a wider power band up to 6,600 RPM, utilizing a liquid-to-air charge cooling system. The engine internals feature heavy-duty and lightweight reciprocating internals for high RPM performance, with a high-capacity fuel system, dry sump oiling system, and more. The supercharged V8 is paired with a then-new rear-mounted Tremec TR6060 6-speed manual transmission with a twin-disc clutch, upgraded for the higher power outputs of the LS9, sending power to the rear wheels. The half shafts and torque tube were also upgraded to handle the additional power. The C6 ZR1 features a 3,350-pound curb weight, achieving 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, a quarter mile in 11.3 seconds, with a top speed of 205 miles per hour. The ZR1's upgrades make the most powerful production Corvette ever produced, and the first to achieve a top speed of at least 200 miles per hour. Additionally, this Corvette features an 18-gallon fuel tank and gets surprisingly good fuel economy for a 638 horsepower supercharged V8 featuring an EPA-rated 14 miles per gallon city and 20 miles per gallon highway.
From the outside, the C6 ZR1 was instantly recognizable due to a variety of ZR1 exclusive features. Perhaps most notably is the raised hood, which features a transparent polycarbonate window that lets you see directly into your supercharged LS9 engine. Additionally, you had very aggressive fender flares on all 4 corners to compensate for the very aggressive wheel and tire fitment. We also saw carbon fiber used in construction of the hood, the fenders, the front splitter, the side rockers, and even the roof, some of which is exposed and some of which has been painted to match the rest of the body. In this case, this car is torch red. Here in the front, obviously, a lot of it is instantly recognizable as a C6 Corvette with some subtle updates. You can see the paint match even there in the headlights. As we come around to the side here, this particular car has been optioned with the chrome 20-spoke wheels that would have been available in addition to the 3ZR package that this car is equipped with, and they're currently wrapped in these Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. The fenders themselves here in the front feature the ZR1 badge in addition to the bespoke side intakes for this model. You get the carbon fiber exposed here in the lower rockers, more intakes in the back. You get keyless entry for the doors, the exposed carbon fiber here on the roof panel, but you still get the practicality of the rear hatch for storage bags, whatever the case is, if you wanted to drive your ZR1 on trips. More of those nice chrome wheels here in the back, a little bit of a flip-up spoiler here that has your raised third brake light, more ZR1 badging, and even a quad exhaust with a bit of a rear diffuser to give a very aggressive high-performance look to the ZR1.
Underneath, the C6 ZR1 features fully independent ZR1 specific suspension with more than 1G cornering grip. The basis is the same aluminum-intensive chassis as the Z06, with aluminum upper and lower control arms, transverse composite leaf springs, along with unique ZR1 tuning and magnetic selective ride control standard with nearly instantaneous damping adjustments, adjusting 1,000 times a second with tour and sports settings. Standard for the ZR1 are carbon ceramic vented and cross-drilled brake rotors measuring 15.5 inches up front and 15 inches in rear, which was not only very rare for the time, but one of the largest carbon ceramic brakes offered on any vehicle. The front calipers are 6-piston and the rears are 4-piston, all finished in ZR1 exclusive blue. The ZR1's brakes provide high heat endurance and some of the shortest braking distances ever tested for a production car. Aside from the suspension, underneath you can also see the intakes for the brake cooling ducts.
Moving on to the interior, the ZR1 still is very much a C6 Corvette interior, but this particular car is equipped with the 3ZR package, which would have cost $10,000 back in 2009 and came with additional luxuries, things like additional leather throughout the vehicle, including things like the dash, which splashed over onto the door panels. You also got the Bose sound system and even the navigation in the middle. Now, as we take a look at the car, there's also a variety of other luxury features and things that are exclusive to the ZR1, things like these cool door sill panels here, and of course the gauge cluster, which I'll show you in a minute, and even the seats were updated. You can see they actually got this cool ZR1 logo embroidered into the headrests, and the seats themselves are quite plush and comfortable and do have heavy side bolstering here, in addition to a little bit of leg bolstering while being power adjustable with memory settings, but still very, very comfortable. Over here on the side, you can see the memory settings in addition to the central locking system, and you also have your power windows and your power mirrors. If we go ahead and climb onto the inside of this C6 Corvette, we can fire it up, which is keyless entry in this car and keyless remote start. As the car powers up, you can see the ZR1 exclusive gauge cluster there, and the fact that the speedometer actually goes up to 220 miles per hour. You can also see the boost gauge over here on the side, which of course is for that supercharger that is now under the hood. You can see here the steering wheel itself is actually wrapped in leather with some buttons for adjusting the radio and even managing your calls. And another cool feature of the ZR1 is of course the heads-up display, which can be hard to see, but it's lit up in green and it shows you your revs and your current speed. You also have these buttons framing on either side of the gauge cluster, which have a variety of your different adjustments and controls, things like your trip settings. Then if we move on to the center here, you have this fake carbon fiber surround that cases your navigation system in addition to your climate controls, which are actually independently adjustable for both the driver and the passenger, with of course your nice climate controls and even your heated controls here. So you have heated seats here with two different settings for both the driver and the passenger. In the middle here, you have your short shift 6-speed manual transmission. You have your nice cup holders over here. Then in the middle, you have your controls for your MagneRide, so you can switch that over to Sport for more aggressive settings while driving aggressively. And then this little cute picture here with the Corvette doing a burnout is of course your traction control. Over on the side from 2009, you still have a real physical parking brake, which is a great feature. And then under here, you still have a little bit of storage. The passenger side is pretty plain and simple with their own bolstered seats and even Corvette nicely upholstered there on the dash. And as we take a look up here, you have your rear view mirror that also has your traditional OnStar settings. You do have your garage and gate openers and of course your sun visors, and everything in here is pretty simple, straight to the point, feels very similar to any other C6 Corvette with some exclusives meant to match the newfound performance of the ZR1. And of course, even the look out of the windshield, you can see the top of the polycarbonate cover and even some of the carbon fiber underneath that's exposed for the hood. So what's it like to drive the C6 ZR1? Well, in normal driving conditions on the lower RPM side, it's quite tame. But you also get such a cool feeling on the inside of the car. You have this incredibly cool viewpoint. You can see the polycarbonate hood, some of the carbon fiber, the flares that go from the wheel wells, not to mention the fact that you're being hugged by these bucket seats, and then you have this incredible view in front of you with the gauge cluster itself that goes up to 220 miles per hour, and of course, the heads-up display. So there is a lot of cool things going on while you're driving this car, not to mention the fact that you have a classic 6-speed manual transmission, which is always a welcome feature on any car. Now obviously, as you start to drive it a little bit harder, it wakes up. As you move up the rev range, the supercharger starts putting out more boost and it moves. This car is so unbelievably fast, even by modern day standards. At this point, this is now a 15-year-old car, and this feels like it can keep up with anything else that you would find out on the road. Additionally, you still have the things that matter, things like the heated seats and the climate control, which are new enough that they're quite usable, and of course, an upgraded Bose sound system because this is the higher end side of the car. This particular car is essentially brand new given the mileage on it, and so everything is flawless, in great condition, and works like it should. This really is a special car that is far beyond capable of what anybody could do with this thing on a road. It was basically a spaceship for the time, far beyond the capabilities of even the Z06 Corvette, beating it out in every single manner possible. This was a really special car and still is a special car, especially given how these cars have behaved over the last years throughout the market. They really haven't depreciated at all, and that's a reflection of just how special these cars are. They look great to top it all off. A lot of people like to think the C6 Corvette generation is one of the most beautiful Corvettes of all time, and that's kind of reflected here as well. This just happens to be a very special version of the car, a version that was highlighted in really an engineering marvel. They did everything they could, all based off of the question of, hey, we built a really great car for $60,000. Could you imagine what we could do if we were spending over $100,000 building this car? And that is exactly what this is. It's an incredibly special car, and then now you can buy this one, which has 1,200 original miles, essentially a brand new car, is now for sale. It's heading up for auction on Bring a Trailer, where it will be selling with no reserve as offered from Casio Motors. With that, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it and could leave me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it, and consider getting subscribed for more content like this in the future. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.